Alrighty, let's get rolling, shall we? With modifier. First one to the party. Tracy? Just checking the sounds out. Of course. My dog has been asleep in his bed right over here all night. And now he's scratching to get out the door. Give me 10 seconds. I knew he was going to wake up and want to leave. All right. Happy Friday, James, Onyx. Yeah, I had to let the dog out. He was scratching at the door. He was like, he's got a bed over here in the corner. It's like a big red donut. He was asleep through all the setup, and now he's like, I'm out. Yeah, bye-bye, Bubba. Yep. Higgins and Amphonics. Great. Hey guys. So we're doing a mix. I'm gonna do something in 6. Kind of like a reel, maybe, with a drone behind it. And try and lean towards Berlin School. Let's see. Down a bit. So how are we doing tonight? Let's see. Back from Seattle. Great, Mike. Great. Let's see. Followed the layered bass video yesterday. Used a Mini Freak V and Native Instruments Prime Bass, and it came out nice. Good. I'm glad, David. Cool. Hello from London. Amphonics. Nice. All right. Let's see. Exquisite. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. It could use some work, but it's fun. It's certainly fun to do, right? It's just layers and layers of live looping and Berlin School patterns, right? So super fun. Let's see. Everything's more or less in tune. I've got transposition working with the patterns. Right? I can do the transpose. Sort of a bass progression on the play bass progression on the matriarch, and the patterns in the modular will follow and stay in key. So that's working. fun to do. I've been copying the lead sound by adding a second LFO to your grandmother. Great. I mean, it's I didn't invent it, right? Right, this lead. There's an LFO playing with the filter cutoff. There's another LFO changing the rate of the first LFO. It's also fun if you can assign another control to it. I don't have it done here, but assign another control to the LFO rate and turn it up to the audio range, right? And that'll then you'll get like sidebands, kind of like a ring mod coming in, and you'll hear these like sort of sounds come in from the sideband, from the what is that called? The heterodyning. So when you're using a ring mod or you're doing amplitude modulation, and you increase the speed and the sideband pitches start coming up, that's called, I believe, heterodyning. Ask a radio guy, like a ham guy, they'll know. You hear that sound a lot in the noise out there in the ham world. I'm not a ham guy, so let's see. So what's going on? This is what, day 12 of January? We're almost halfway through. There's a couple things I'm still working on. I can do transposition in the modular, but as you heard, the bass part that's being played in live, the loop I set up, doesn't follow. So that's the next thing I need to work on, is that I got to figure out how to glue together, if I do transposition here and this follows, how do I get this to follow as well? I've done it with MIDI, and I could take the MIDI out from here, but it's going to take some cooking in there. I don't know, probably some Max Live manipulation or something like that, because routing wise, Ableton's got one big glaring annoyance for me in what I do, and that is when you remote map a MIDI source. So if I want to use the MIDI out from a synth to control, remotely control stuff, it stops passing note data. So if I want to use notes to control like transposition in live by sending MIDI data in directly, it'll let me do that. But as soon as I map those notes to a control so that it turns a knob when I change the keys, it stops passing MIDI note events into the track to drive a synth, which in this case would be the bass. So I'd want it to re-pitch the MIDI, use a transpose device to change the MIDI based on what key I press. But I still want the bass track information to continue running, and it doesn't. It silences it, which is really freaking annoying. But I'm pretty sure in the new routing stuff in the 12 beta, I can get around that. I've got till the end of January to figure that one out. So, and I think I'm coming down with a cold. I'm getting a little, starting to get a little scratchy. So, just to whinge for a minute. Okay, James, whinge away. I tried January in the box. All right. Logic freaked out. Plugin started flashing in random patterns. Tracks disappeared. Titles disappeared. Reappeared. So I've never used Logic, but the people I know who use it like it. So don't know. When DAWs die, I usually blame the plugins, right? Because I'm running a beta, so yeah, I can totally make it crash. I've got some reproducible bugs, but generally, if I'm running the normal version of a DAW, and I haven't used Logic, right? But I've fiddled around with Bitwig, and it like puts its plugins in a little jail so that if they crash, they don't take the DAW with it, but which is nice. But Ableton, it's usually plugins that bring it down. Reason, I was a Reason guy for a really long time, and Reason was always really stable until they started letting you load VSTs, and then it started crashing. And the same is true for Renoise, which is the tracker that I use when I'm in tracker mode. So I don't know, just blame the plugins, James, or go through and see what you got there. Pulse width, you're asking what VSTs do I use for bass? I get asked that question a lot, so often that I made a video. So if you go to the community tab or you go to the channel and you search for Rick Bass, Rick, like Rickenbacker. Search for Rick Bass, or if you look at the posts in the community tab from last week, I posted a link to the video. There's like total instructions on how to do it. And if you can't find it, just leave me a comment on a video, like on this video, and I'll post a link back to it. Let's see, what else? Issue with Intel Max on Sonoma, current versions of Logic. I hear you. Just had to just abandon it. Sorry, man. Intel Macs are pretty old at this point, though, so I don't know. But, it's still viable, so if it is, keep using it. Can you send MIDI out if out of Metropolis to live? Yes, the latest firmware. So they thought ahead, and on the inside of the module, there's actually a micro USB. It might be USB-C, but there's a bare USB jack in there, and you can run MIDI into and out of the Metropolis with the latest firmware. I haven't tried it, and I probably won't. I kind of like the modular to stay in analog clock zone. So, but you can. The Metropolis does send and receive MIDI. Let's see, what else? Built-in plugins and third-party horror show. Yeah, right. Anybody? The death of any software package is generally allowing users to write software and plug it into it automatically, right? For anybody who's ever done software development and used public packages, right? Pound include hairball, right? Is how it usually works out. Found out about Renoise Onyx. Yeah, Renoise is my favorite tracker. I love Renoise. There's lots of trackers out there, and it's like a tracker that's trying to be a DAW, and I think it's pretty good. You can certainly produce completed tracks in it and do mastering and things like that. And the price is certainly right. So it's fun. I like it. Mr. Higgins says, would MIDI out of Metropolis solve the transposition problem? Maybe, right? Look at the system. I like Rube Goldberg devices, so I'm trying to work it out without, like, MIDI is like the escape hatch, right? If all else fails, pull the escape chute, right? And you can just MIDI. I can just MIDI everything up, right? I could do MIDI to CV and drive everything that way too, and then just run it all from Ableton. I don't even need a sequencer at that point, but whatever. It's like I like the fragile and delicate mess that I have here. So we'll see what happens. But David, that's a viable solution. I could potentially do that. Speaking of delicate mess, I don't know if you guys can see because the room's kind of dark. I've had many people complain or cower in fear of the fact that the modular is sitting on top of two of those aluminum C-shaped laptop stands. It's one here and one here. I think the crazy Wabbit was the first to say anything about it a month or two ago. We're back in November. He was like, is that thing balanced on laptop stands? Yes it is. But it's very, very stable. It's very stable. It's not going to die. All right, so don't panic. It's one of those things where the modular itself weighs so much that its mass makes it reluctant to move, and its center of gravity is really low. So I'd be okay. Anyway, all right, so let's bring some of this back up. For those of you who didn't see the video from yesterday that used the Lyra 8, I'm in a key right now that I cannot get the Lyra 8 to tune to, so I'm not using the Lyra 8 tonight. But if you're interested in this synth, it's really fun, and yesterday's stream was all about the Lyra 8. It's a fun beast. All right, let's try something else. Let's do this. Let's change our tempo. You can hear the delays changing. There we go. Let's get back into our route. I'm going to do a semi-drone. It's not quite like there will be a drone droning. Let me slow it down even more. All right, let's see what the patterns are doing now, because the patterns are still running. since we're droning, let's see. Let's go here. Did it again. I'm editing the pattern that's not actually playing. Dude, so I complained about this the other night. Metropolis is a great sequencer, but there's only one tiny little light that indicates of the 2 tracks you can edit, or the 3, which one are you editing? And if you don't remember to look at it, you'll be spinning the dial and expecting changes and not hearing it. It's because you're editing the wrong one, pal. All right, let's try this again. Put a little ratchet or 2 in here and see what happens. So let's put way too much delay on this now. So we can get the ratchets to, if the delay is long enough, they'll echo harmony with themselves. You'll hear it as it rises up. You've got a little harmony happening there. Right here. Right? So that's a fun little trick. Right? All right, let's add another pattern onto it. Let's go turn up the pattern that I was editing blindly, and let's see if it still sounds good. Let's bring it down an octave. We're editing the right one. And we're going to set the second pattern to ping pong. So they were both linear. And the second one's now going to go and then come back. Let's see what it's like when we transpose this, because when we transpose the pattern, it's going to shift within the key. It may sound like ass. It's not bad. I could sit here and just do random transpositions while the patterns are playing all day. I get in this zone where I'm like just like floating, right? And I don't do drugs. I've tried. Bad things happen. Let's make these sustain just a little bit more. this one, we'll make it run a little faster. We'll increase its clock count a little bit. Bass. With that big ass drone, it's hard to hear the bass. Let's bring the drone down a little bit. Live loop here. Recording a live loop, but I forgot to hit record. Definitely in jam band territory right now because I'm not really playing any repeatable melodies. This is truly just noodling. the bass masturbation. What am I missing here? Let's see. Patterns or sequences from the Metropolis. Yep. Yeah, there are 4 patterns. I really need to get like a down camera, or it's too dark for this camera, but a down camera. So basically I've got 4 audio tracks, and there are 4 patterns, 2 from each Metropolis coming in, and I just bring the levels in and out, plus the drone, right? So, oh, and I think the bass is sustaining right now too. There we go. All right, so there is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this one got annoying, actually, because I didn't let it run long enough. So if we were to... Even then, it's not a great pattern. I did not do a good job there. That's a little bit better. Part of it is the delay on this could be better. Like, that's a little bit nicer. And the timbre could probably be nicer too. Little horn action there. Wop 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 wop. Not great. Okay, no. Some patterns are not so great in isolation, but when you layer them with something else, they turn out okay. So, but not that one. That's not so bad. Go back to like one of those very Tangerine Dream, really short sequences for the bass. I gotta remember to hit record. That would help. pattern running. Holy shit, I ran way over. Oh man, I'm so sorry. All right. So let's see. Liam Odell. Hey, been following your progress through your highlight reels. Thanks, man. Loving your work. Thank you so much. I'm learning a lot this month. Let's see. Thumbs up, delay. Yeah. Hey, Haslo. Yeah, I like a lot of delay and reverb, right? It's just one of the ways to head into that Berlin school sound. You don't have to do it, right? But let's see. Yeah, the changes are working, kind of. They'll get better over time. Casual Noise. Hey, welcome. Hey, Cotton Joy. Hey, thank you, man. Tracy, again, thanks for the music. James, good times can't be scheduled. Well, you should talk to my wife because she schedules good times sometimes. But thanks. I ran over, cutting into Garen's time. I gotta go over to his. I'm not on Twitch, but I like the concept of that whole Twitch rating thing where you go from one to the other. It overwhelms me the few times I tried it on with friends who are on Twitch. I have a bunch of friends who are in the Golden Shrimp Guild. If you're a Twitch music person, that's a big group that does like Twitch raid like parties that last 4 days long. And I'm just too old for that. I can't keep up with those guys. But I do like to follow Garen's. Now, tomorrow morning, for me, it's 5 a.m. So what is that? It's like 5 a.m. is 5 a.m. for me is noonish in the UK, or is it 10 in the UK? I don't know. But if you look for Synchrotron, he's got a stream that he runs in the midday UK time, early morning, Eastern US time. I like to go to his stream, so I'll do that. And I'll stream again about 2 hours after him, so sometime mid-afternoon for UK and Germany, something like that, or late afternoon. So yeah, jump in if you're interested, and if you're not, that's cool. But thanks for all the feedback. Love performing for friends, and as always, this has been the Synth Seeker January stream. We'll just keep rolling forward. Thanks. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And if here in the U.S. we have a long weekend, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Might do something special for Monday. So thanks. See ya.